was his
Nice.
recommendation. He, I guess, has been there a time or two. Really likes it,
Sweet.
but it's in
Hmm.
Olathe.
Just yeah. I just clicked into the YouTube live stream, and apparently we were not streaming.
Oh, cool.
Uh, maybe we were.
I
It's
don't know.
hard to tell. It looks like we've only been on YouTube for 25 seconds, but also, uh,
Uh,
yeah, no, we weren't. We were not streaming.
hmm. But
I
now
don't
we
know what's going on with that. Yeah, now we are. What's up, Trevor
are.
and Josh? If you came back ever, who I don't know who you are, but hey, looky here. Here's old Dan.
Look at that.
What's up, Dan? We're
Hey
live.
guys, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we just I just now remembered to click over into YouTube and double check what's going on, and we were not streaming. So we've only been live on YouTube for about a minute and 15,
Okay.
but we did give the hey, what's up to Trevor already, and I think that other dude that was watching that one time was named Josh, and Ellett,
Oh,
of course, too.
is Trevor's watching right now?
It's
Oh
hard to say.
no, I don't know. No, but sometimes he
Oh,
does.
oh, I was gonna say I had a question
Just
for
give
He's
it a
Trevor.
shout
probably our
out to our
most
potential listeners.
yeah. Trevor is our most consistent,
Yeah,
most dedicated fan, I
He's
think.
our number one fan.
I need to
Oh,
get Trevor
100%.
on. I need to see if Trevor will jump on tonight
Oh
because I
yeah,
have some questions. I have some questions for him.
yeah.
Let me see if he will.
Dan, what have you been doing? It's 10:20.
I was at Maynard's at 10 o'clock. No, at
What were you
9:40.
you getting supplies for the house?
Yeah, I I I
You
got a.
told me you were test driving a car.
We were
You
doing
need to
that
get your
too. I was
story
trying to
straight.
was trying to double. I was trying to what do you call that? Multitask a trip to town.
Uh,
When you live in the
Testing up a car
country,
and pick up some lumber.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've got 2x12 rims, double plate, doubled treated rims, and I have posts about every 10 feet. But one of them was combining a 10-foot 6 span with like a 10-foot or a 8-foot 4. It ended up needing a 20-footer. Otherwise, I was going to have to cut up like do like a whole bunch of like 12s
Yeah.
instead of just spanning. Okay, they're generally 8 to 10 feet. This one just happened to be, instead of coming out to 16, it was closer to a 20. Man, I'm gonna actually call Trevor on the not hotline and see if he'll jump on.
Put him on
Is
speaker
that all
so
right with you guys? If we
yeah,
pull in another.
you gotta put him on speaker though. You can't make a call live without us
Hey,
hearing
you
the whole
still up?
conversation.
If you want to jump on, I have a couple questions for you. Live broadcast. Do you need us to send you a link, or do you have it still? It's the same link as it was.
It's the same as ever.
Hey, Darcy, can you just send it to
Yeah.
TREVS? What is it? BE TREVS
Now everyone in the world's gonna have his email address.
TREVSBE
Oh
at
no.
Gmail.
Oh no. The amount, and he's gonna have to
Oh,
change
we
it.
just gave out your email on live broadcast. Oh man, you're gonna be absolutely inundated with emails. You have 92,000 emails.
All right. What did you
650
just
in
say?
unread. I've got more than that.
Here.
I've got you.
Can you just Can you just send it, Dan, since you have it in your email?
Okay, I've got what, Darcy?
Can you send it since you've got it in your email? I don't have it in. Apparently, I've never. Oh wait, I thought it would like pop up one if I've sent it before, but I don't think I have.
And let me just see if I
What?
forward this. Forward this to. I'm just going to forward your
Yeah.
trev.s.mock. There we go. I gave them out both of yours. They're both going to get inundated. Okay. Because I have two questions. And so when you get on, we'll address them both.
I'm excited to hear all of this.
Okay.
So you test drove a car?
We test drove a nice running Toyota Camry with 145,000.
Was it a 1996 champagne colored with a beautiful interior and low miles?
Like
It's
new
a
condition?
2011, but close. It is champagne color.
Ooh.
Are you sure it was a 2011?
This one has one spot on the lid, like the top, that's dented in about like this, and it has been filled in with bed liner and something because
What?
when the kid hit a sign, like the first week he got the car from his grandfather, he hit a sign, and they were like, this is the lid, and then the rail that goes down beside the windshield was dented in and is still dented in, and they're like, that's gonna be like $7,800, and they were like, nah, we're not doing that. So I don't know, they probably got an insurance payout on it. They probably call it totaled or something. I don't know, we'll see. But it's about $3,500 to $4,000 less than the next Toyota Camry, so it's like there's a reason that it's cheaper,
Right.
And a Toyota Camry you don't drive because like it's the coolest thing ever. You drive it because it runs like decently well. And I feel like a $5,000 car is what a $2,500 car was when we were getting cars. Am I wrong about that? I mean,
I'd say
you're probably
pretty
right.
close.
like the one weird thing about autos these days is $1,000 car seems to have been $1,000 car for like forever. That's one price point that hasn't really changed. If a car ran, it was worth $1,000.
Right.
And now if a car runs, it's worth $1,000. Come on, Trev, where you at?
Right. You.
Oh, there he is.
What's up, Trevor?
Man, Trevor, I like your office.
We shouted you on. You got a nice library.
Wow, we got some good echoing going on.
Well, you have to pay for the noise cancel, or not noise cancel, the background blur, or pay for Riverside to get the background blur. So I just turned it off. Or turn this on.
Okay, how do we get the sound to work right?
Can you hear me?
You're in a barrel.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Weird. Okay, so my mic is working, but it's coming out of my monitor, so I don't know what's up with that.
Perfect.
Let's see if I can. I guess you can't change it whenever you're live. Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what's up with that.
I hear myself echoing.
I'll mute myself.
Okay, so here's question one, and then it should be easy. Today I was at Menards, and this evening I was at Menards, and there was a dude about our age, somewhere in that range, looked able-bodied, walked into Menards, got on one of the like carts, drove it around, like kind of acted like he needed it, and then like when he got at the end of the store, he got up and walked out. And I was like what possesses a guy? Like he had it, like his wife was there, and they were not acting like this was a weird thing at all. It just seemed like he was just being kind of a lazy bum, is what it seemed like. So my wife and I were talking, and I was like, there's some people who won't even use a handicapped bathroom stall for like fear that a handicapped person, legitimate handicapped person, is going to like come in the bathroom and need the stall and be like put out. I personally have never.
Like you're supposed to have a hanger tag even to use the handicap bathroom.
Yeah, almost kind of like that. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm not, I guess maybe as like, I'm not as bad. Like I draw the line at a different place than using the cart in just for kicks, right? In a bathroom. Is everybody in agreement? Am I like, you've used a handicapped bathroom stall? Yes.
Yes.
Everybody?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
So I said to my wife,
That's Darcy's favorite one.
I said to my wife,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
already
room. Spread out.
I already have a plan if a handicapped person comes into the bathroom. And I said,
You're going to pretend like you're in Traveler.
I said, I'm just going to pull a Marcy. And she's like, what are you talking about? And you literally got it before I even said it. So that's the first question. Am I wrong? Is that the plan?
Absolutely the plan.
Marcy, I'm handicapped. I'm going to walk out and be like, I'm handicapped.
I'll just show my VA disability rating and be like, hey, I'm right there with you.
Or the second plan was, because the handicap bathroom a lot of times has a child changing station.
Where'd my kid go?
I'm gonna be like, okay, buddy, hop down off of there, got your diaper changed, and then just walk out and act like I have an imaginary kid. That's my other plan. Just be like, all right, buddy, back at it. And then if they're like, what? You never thought of this? Not ever? Well, what's your plan? What's your plan, Jimmy?
Well, my first plan is to not even need to use a public restroom. That's plan number one.
Oh man, I got over that a while ago.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that the mass, I mean, this is my theory, the mass of concrete and steel in every big box store changes the gravitational pull and makes me have to go poop if I'm in there longer than about 2 minutes. And so I don't ever just like, I don't fight it. I just head to the bathroom.
Yeah, no, it's all of the rebar in the concrete.
Yeah.
It's interacting with your phone, and that's creating that magnetic field that you're talking about.
Something.
I almost never poop outside of my house.
Ugh.
You poop in your house?
Yeah.
Savage.
It's disgusting, bro.
Isn't there a saying about that?
I think there's a Bible verse against it in Leviticus.
So, you know something I just realized, Darcy?
No.
I was hearing a guy, this is a little off topic. I was hearing a guy say that the YouTube algorithm does not like logos of any kind on live streams. And I
Okay.
just realized
So like,
your Chiefs flag doesn't have a logo, but your hat does. And probably the Chubby Rhino is probably not a recognizable enough logo for the algo to kick it, but like it does throttle your reach on a live when you have logos.
is
Anyway,
it a copyright thing?
I don't know. Maybe a copyright thing. So Jimmy, you wouldn't know about this if you don't use public restrooms, but Home Depots, every time I come out of a Home Depot, they have these boner handles that are like sticking out of the door on the inside. And I've like thought about ordering like 100, like you can order like bulk condoms and just like have a condom and just like pop it over that thing and just slide it down on there and then open the door and just keep going.
Now,
and just leave it.
I
Do
didn't
it.
say I never use public restrooms. I use public restrooms all the time. I just don't poop in them.
So you know about those handles.
Oh yeah.
And am I wrong? Whoever pulled that one over on the world is like laughing it up every day that every time he gets an order for one of those handles, he's like,
So you see a penis when you see that?
You don't?
No.
You just grab right onto that thing, do you? You're just like,
No.
There you go.
I use the foot thing on the floor.
Those things are, yeah, I guess. I know that they're like,
I went
just use your arm.
Yeah. I went
things
into the bathroom at Academy up here in Liberty on Sunday. Walked into Academy, same thing. It's massive, big concrete and steel building. Gotta go poop.
Immediately.
I walked into the bathroom. I pushed the door open on the first stall, looked in there, and was like, nah. Pushed the door open on the second stall, was like, not going to the bathroom here. Walked back out. That bathroom was like raunchy rest stop area dirty.
Yeah.
There was toilet paper all over the floor. The toilet paper that was in the big stall, there was one roll left in the thing, and it was wet. And in one of the toilets, there was a bunch of toilet paper and a rag. Like, it was disgusting. I just walked right back out. Like, I don't need to go that bad.
Yeah,
Pee on the seats.
Yeah.
I've
Terrible.
definitely had a fair amount of bathrooms where I couldn't do it. And I was on
Dan,
50
maybe we
highway.
should revisit your rest area bathroom story.
The old Nebraska rest area. Have we told that story on here?
Hopefully.
So were you with me on that trip? No. I was
Trevor?
I was going to Wyoming. I know that. I was driving across Nebraska and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning and we pulled over at a rest stop. And you walk into these rest stops and they're like, they got some weird ones, or at least they did back in the day in the like late 90s. They had these rest stops where the door on the toilet was like only like rib cage high or chest high, so that police could like walk through them and like use a flashlight and look in the stalls. So you go in and you sit down and like you're here, but like the door is only like this high. And you're like, what gives with this? So I sit down 2 o'clock in the morning, rest stop. I think Wayne Stahl and Ross Weinberg were on this trip. I sit down.
Oh, it would have been so much better if one of those two guys was in there sitting.
And And I sit down, and no sooner do I sit down, and this cowboy dude with one of his blue jean pants tucked into his boot and one not tucked into his boot puts his elbow on the door and just starts talking to me over the stall, like his elbow's on my stall door, and he's like, blah 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 blah, and I'm just like trying to poop in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, like trying to poop and pee, and I'm just like, I'm having a hard time just finishing my business with this dude, this gay cowboy guy, talking to me.
They call those guys truckers.
This trucker, okay, a trucker. That's what it was. So I'm like, finally he like walks away a little bit, and I can wipe, because I think I was already done. I was just waiting to wipe till he was done talking to me about random crap. So I come out of the stall and I walk over to the sink, and he starts talking to me again. But now he's standing at a urinal, and he's standing at a urinal, and he's holding his thing. It's about like this. He's standing 2 feet from the urinal, and he's just like, he's got this hog on him, and he's like holding it out there. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm like having a hard time not looking at it as he's standing there talking to me, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, what is happening here? And I finally am just like, oh, okay. I just got to finish washing my hands, and I got to get out of here. And I as soon as I stepped out, I just booked back. The other 2 guys were still asleep in the car. I get in, they start to wake up, and I start to tell them this fanciful imaginary story. And I'm like, this was not a dream. This was just right. Like, this just happened to me. Like, this is insane. And they're just like, no, it didn't. And I'm telling you, dude, this was the weirdest thing. But I guess that's just truckers for you. I don't know what the point of the story is, other than like,
dude, if that had happened to Wayne or Ross, probably no one would know that story. Like, you wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't even know. They'd be like,
no.
I don't think I can tell anybody this. That's one of my favorite stories, because I don't even know.
Story.
I don't know what the meaning of it is.
The meaning is some guys have bigger dongs than other guys.
I mean, I think the guy waited. I think he waited to pee till I came out of the stall, so that he could just be like holding
catch
that
a glimpse
fire hose, and I could take a look at it. I mean, like, there's no other explanation. What was he doing in there between me talking to him in the stall and him taking a pee?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have heard
his
that.
teeth, maybe.
I have heard that that's like rest stops are like a trucker's paradise. But
Fresh meat.
a lot of meat, that's for sure. Okay, Trevor. Just so if you don't want to be on.
What am I here for? What is going on?
Okay, Trevor. I heard a story tonight that I can't place the reality or the fiction of the story. And it apparently happened to a friend of yours whose identity doesn't need to be revealed.
It was Jesse, wasn't it?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I feel like if I said I heard a story tonight and the story came from your house, that you would know the story and be able to relay it without the identity of the person who got beat up in question.
Oh, okay. Okay? I'm tracking.
Is that Are we tracking?
Yeah. I understand the origin of the story.
Okay. I would like to hear the story from the second-hand perspective rather than the fourth-hand perspective.
Okay, so this person that I know, even know where to start this story. So a person that I know was supposed to be picking up a truck from their friend to use to move some stuff. And this friend told them the truck is at this address. It's an old white truck, and there is a key under the driver's side mat. So they go to look for this truck, and they find the truck at the address that they were given. It's an old white beat up truck. They go up to the truck, they open the door, there's a key under the driver's mat, and so they take the key, they start the truck, and they start to drive away. And somebody comes running out of a building just screaming at them. And so they stop, they roll down the window, they see this person approaching very, very angry, and they are trying to like explain the situation before this person gets to the vehicle. And that person didn't listen to their story, like the explanation of why are you in my truck, and just starts getting punched through the door because they rolled the window. After they get punched a few times, like the person is like holding the door closed, so they're being held in this other person's vehicle while they're getting punched as they're trying to get out of the vehicle. Eventually, the person backs away, goes back, and gets like a hatchet handle from the back of their truck that they're going to come and use to continue the job. In the meantime, the driver at this point stumbles out of the vehicle, and it's like, this is a misunderstanding, like keeps explaining the story. I think not sure if they got hit another time or two after they got out of the vehicle. But basically, they get out of the vehicle, they are explaining the situation. The person takes their glasses, crushes their glasses, takes his phone, throws it on the ground, curb stomps it, and says, "Don't call the cops," and takes his truck back. I don't know how much more of the story you heard there, but basically they start to stumble down the street and stumble into another store, borrow somebody's phone, and call somebody they know to come pick them up, basically. So yeah, I don't know how much more.
Why were they getting this truck to begin with?
To move some stuff, to move a person from one house to another, to an apartment or something, moving household items. So they were borrowing a truck to move some stuff for somebody else. And the truck ended up being at a different address, basically. They were given the wrong address for where this truck was.
And so it just happened to be a white truck with a key under the mat, exactly as they described, in the exact location they were told.
Yeah, and
what are the odds?
Very odd. I understand, you want to protect your property or whatever, but smashing somebody's phone and saying, don't call the cops, and then additionally running an illegal business out of a place where no business is supposed to be, all seems a little fishy to me. The guy who did the punching and the smashing of the phone is running some sort of guitar shop or something, and his girlfriend runs a jewelry shop out of a business that used to be an instrument repair place, but they don't have a business license, and they're not the owners of that building. So they're running unregistered, they don't have a business license with the city. Neither of them do. So they're running businesses that don't exist on paper out of a building. They don't want the cops called to a situation, and by the time the cops showed up, they had removed the truck so that it was not in that location when the police showed up, and the police couldn't, they're like, "Oh, we took it home," and they're like, "Well, I think they wanted to assess it or something, and they're like, no, it's fine. So they did not want the police looking into this vehicle.
Why did they crush the phone?
And tell you not to call the cops. I mean, I'm sure that it's just a concerned citizen protecting their asset.
Property.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, probably.
So they did. So he did call the cops.
He did not call the cops. Somebody else called the cops because they're like, no, you need to call the cops.
But
So
there
the
was
cops
nothing
were
to be
called.
done about it.
No, I think
Okay,
that they...
so just my thought is, if there's no vehicle there for him to steal, then that's just a straight up assault by this other guy on him.
There's a video that the, I guess the county prosecutor assessed of this assault that kind of corroborates the person that I know's story, but it's not clear enough for them to definitively say, yes, you should press charges. So they were like, yes, it kind of shows that, but the angle isn't good, and you can't really tell what exactly is being said. And so they're like, there's legal ground for him to protect his property, and there's not enough evidence that there's not enough proof that you were trying to de-escalate the situation as was claimed, basically.
So you could get in as much trouble as him.
Right. That's essentially, you could get in as much trouble as him, even though
you didn't know you were stealing a truck.
Stealing somebody's truck, yeah.
And you were trying to be reasonable when you
were
realized
de-escalating the situation. You didn't throw any punches or in general try to defend yourself at all. You just kind of decided, I'm just going to let whatever happen.
Or go ahead and just drive away.
Yeah, you didn't like who's trying to steal your vehicle and stops and lets you attack them and then continues to let you attack them instead of driving off after the first punch. Like, I know so many thieves that would do that.
Yeah. Wow.
What a crazy deal. And that just happened today?
I don't know, sometime last week, I want to say. It's been about a week and a half.
Is he all right?
Yeah. More or less.
No.
Broken nose.
Broken nose?
Broken nose. But what this person said was that somebody in this call broke his nose playing basketball a number of years ago, and that his new broken nose has now straightened it back out.
A little adjustment.
So really, this guy did him a favor. He was brutally assaulted in the past over a basketball game.
Many years ago, he was brutally assaulted in the past. Interesting. Huh. Well, so I didn't hear all of that information, but when I heard the story, I was like, this has to be like a story from times of old. Like,
no, it's just happened.
This has really just happened. I mean,
yeah. It's a crazy time to be alive. That's all I can say.
Wow. That's
good old Belton.
What'd you say?
Good old Belton. Stay classy, Belton.
Oh, it was in Belton. Nice. Even better.
On North Scott.
On North Scott.
That kind of tracks that part.
Wait, what business is being run? Where's the business that's being run illegally out of the old business? What'd you say it was supposed to be?
It used to be like I want to say they said it used to be like an instrument repair shop, and that guy is retired. I think he still owns the building or something, and somebody now is running a couple sort of unregistered businesses.
Well, I know where the instrument repair shop was.
Well, it's weird. Their weirdo tattoo parlor is the building on the left, and then it's the next two buildings or offices, whatever, shops in that strip.
So the business address has to be totally wrong. He was given then.
He was given the wrong address. The address where the truck was. Okay, so this person that I know, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, whatever. He was dropped off at a gym, and the truck was also in the parking lot of the gym which was the correct address. That should have been the address that he was given, but he was given an address 2 buildings down, basically. So he went and, went to the gym, got dropped off at the gym, did his stuff there, and then left and walked 2 parking lots down to get jumped in a parking lot, when the truck was in the parking lot at the place that he was at.
Where he was physically at originally.
Yeah.
Now, these guys wouldn't necessarily know who the individual was, but Darcy would know that Darcy lost my keys at that guy's son-in-law's wedding, for what it's worth.
I'm that guy's son-in-law.
Oh, shh. Shh. You're not supposed to say that.
I feel like there's enough said here to make it pretty painfully obvious.
Painful is
painful
true.
For some of us.
What I would like to do is just like man on the street the guy who did the assaulting and be like, so how do you feel about assaulting a guy with Parkinson's? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean,
man.
Are you into that kind of thing?
At least the guy who assaulted him was also in his early to mid 50s, I think they said. So not like a 30-year-old jumping a 60-year-old, but still. This guy definitely looks like he's a malicious actor for sure. If you see him on the street, you're like, that guy's gonna steal my truck for sure.
The guy who did the assaulting.
The assaultee.
Wow. Yeah, when I heard the story today, I was like, this has to just be something from back in the day. And then you're anyway.
No, it just happened.
Nuts.
So there were no charges made. No legal anything happened.
Nope. On either side.
This is Belton we're talking about.
This is Belton on North Scott, where the police regularly are just like, you call the police and you're like, there's a dude walking down the middle of the street swinging a chain at cars. And they're like, oh yeah, we talked to him already. Well, he's still walking down the street trying to hit cars. What do you mean you talked to him already?
He's not planning to hit any of them.
So when this guy gets a text that says, here's the address and it's over on Scott, you're like, he doesn't think, wow, maybe I should just stay away from that spot.
He was already on. That's where the gym is. It's on the same strip. It's literally 2 buildings down from the place. So.
No.
Well, and I'm pretty sure, Jimmy, that you've done business on North Scott too. Let's be fair. You've been down there wheeling and dealing.
Volkswagens.
What are they? Volkswagens, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's not pretend like we haven't all done our fair bit of business on North Scott.
And Jimmy and I had an incident when we were down there dropping off a freaking car.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
It might have been the same guy.
That's been what, 10 or 12 years ago?
I mean, it's been a while.
I mean, it's like North Scott isn't great, but it's not the Passaic.
Right.
It's not. Right. Yeah, it's not Prospect in Kansas City.
You're probably not going to get shot. You're just going to run into some people tweaking. It could also be twerking, but tweaking for sure.
So there's a business down there named, it's a mechanic shop named, I think it's Jerry Ansemble Mayos, Jerry and Mayos or something. The owner of it is a totally Hispanic speaking or his Spanish speaking Hispanic guy. And they're like, who's Jerry? And they're like, Jerry's nobody. Jerry's the imaginary white guy that's my partner.
Nice.
To not scare off white people from being parishioners or, you know, like doing business with us. And it works. It works for him because they're just like,
He's got a 4.9 rating with 34 reviews. So
yeah, it's literally like the way he figured out to what is it? Hack the white people system. White people and black people. There's a lot of white and black people in Belton. But there's no Jerry. Jerry's a guy that worked for him for a while. It's
he just stole his name.
Jerry's just a white guy name on the
good mechanic name though.
Mm-hmm. Jerry does seem like a mechanic, doesn't it? Or is it Joe? It's Jerry, isn't it? Jerry and Mayos?
Yeah, it's Jerry. Jerry and Mayos Auto Sale.
Yeah.
How many dudes walk in there asking for Jerry?
Just white dudes that don't know anything about the business.
Oh, Jerry, Jerry's on vacation right now.
He's in the back. I can take care of you.
Jerry mostly stays at his lake house down at Lake of the Ozarks. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, of course.
Of course he is.
Of course.
Makes
of course
sense.
He does.
Is he fishing?
If he had somebody like you that's a good mechanic working for him, of course he would. Yep, that's what it is.
That's perfect.
All right. Well, those were my two questions for you, Trevor. Those were the.
All right. Well, I'm glad that I could help, and I guess I wouldn't say glad that I heard the other story, but it was interesting. It was interesting.
The trucker story? Is that what you're talking about? What was the deal with you guys on North Scott, though? I don't remember. I remember like it was a parking situation. Also, it was a vehicle situation, and an almost assault situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, I almost had to kill someone. Or can I say that?
Almost had to beep someone.
So
it doesn't make it better.
Was it my car that we were dropping off?
Yeah,
I think so. So we were trailering a car out to, or maybe we weren't even trailing. You were just picking me up.
You drove it down, and I was giving you a ride home.
Yeah, so that's what it was. We met out at this place on North Scott. I went inside, talked to the mechanic, and Darcy was just out in this parking lot next door to where we dropped the car off, because the parking
lot, little car lot
was over full. Like there was nowhere to park, nowhere to do anything. Darcy's in his big old truck, so there's an empty parking lot right next door. Darcy rolls in there and just waits for me. I walk out to Darcy's truck, and I get in, and there's like this car blocking the exit. We cannot get out of the parking lot. And we were like, what is happening here? So we sat there for a minute or something, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We sat there for probably like 5 to 10 minutes.
And this dude ain't leaving.
This guy was being weird. He's like moving around in the car, roll his window down, roll it back up.
And we're just wanting to leave. So eventually I'm like, I'm going to go ask this guy to move.
We're like inching over toward him.
Yeah.
Like we want to leave.
So I get out of the truck and I'm like, hey, could you move out of our way? And he was like, what are you doing here? And so I just tell him, I'm like, well, we dropped a car off here and this is my ride and we're just leaving. And he's like, nah, you need to tell me what's going on. I'm like, I just did. He's like, you got to tell me the truth, man. You got to tell me the truth. You tell me the truth and the truth will set you free. And I'm like, I just did. Like, I don't even know what else to tell you. No, he just kept going and going, and he wouldn't move. And so I went back and got in Darcy's truck, and I'm like, this dude ain't moving, and we're just gonna have to find a way out of here. So we just went over the grass and into the road.
Went over the curb and the sidewalk and out onto the road.
It was a weird experience. That dude was, I don't know if he was on something, but he was not going to move, and he was not going to accept the truth as truth.
Sometimes the simplest explanation is just the truth.
Too simple.
He kept saying that. He was like, you need to tell me the truth. What are you doing here? Why are you here? Tell me the truth, and the truth will set you free. He just said over and over again.
And you weren't ever just like, what is it you want to hear? Like,
no, I didn't know what to say. I was just like,
I got nothing for you.
I'm like, I'm ready. I'm like,
you're packing.
Yeah, we're like, I'm getting ready to have to do something here, but it never got to that.
I will tell you this, Jimmy. I think that being the guy standing outside of a car and being not the guy whose parking lot it is, you pulling a gun and gunning a guy down while he's in his car probably isn't a great plan.
Well, I was thinking he was going to pull a gun on me.
Yeah, I know, but like just trying to preempt that, to try to move your pawn to capture his queen at that moment probably isn't going to work out very good.
I wasn't playing chess. I was just trying to get out of that dang parking lot.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, now that you guys have gotten me put back on a list, I'm going to go.
I just got off my list. All
right. I was in a parking lot today.
Thanks,
at Quick Trip, and I was getting fuel.
Yeah.
And the lady pulled onto the other side of the same pump I was on. And she just pulls in, gets out of her driver's seat, and then goes directly to the back door. She's driving like a little 4-door SUV. And opens up the back door, and she goes, oh my goodness, how did you get in here? And I was like, huh. And apparently there was a cat or something. I'm pretty certain it was a cat. She looked like a cat lady, and she had a cat stickers on the back of her car. But apparently the cat wasn't supposed to be in the car riding around with her. So hopefully it hadn't sat in any parking lots prior to her discovering it. Because it was a hot one today. That was pretty funny.
Marcella and Sarah came back from Springfield last night, and there was a calico kitten under the car. Like, had gotten on board at some point. So Marcella took it out of from under the wheel, like the tire spot where the tire cable, you run the cable up and there's the tire, and she
bathed it.
Yeah, the spare tire. She bathed it, and she had it in the house, and it was kind of timid and stuff. And then last night she took it outside to go put it in the barn, and she was showing the cat to the other cats, who were initially kind of like interested and like not freaking out. And then Bobby, the bobtail cat, hissed at one of her kids, her own kids, because she's become sort of territorial. Like, she doesn't want her kids coming near her now. She's like weaning them. And Marcella lost the calico kitten, and it's gone. It's at our house somewhere. Nobody's seen it since last night.
Is it in the house?
No, it's outside somewhere.
Okay.
It just, I mean, it wasn't our problem to start with, but now it's sort of our problem, but not really. And now it's gone.
It's just cleaner.
Disappeared. It's cleaner. Yeah. people like calico cats. So
That's crazy. I mean, does she
I had
have
a good one.
an idea of where she may have picked it up?
no, the two places that they could have picked it up, they're like, it just seems such a short amount of time they were parked there on their drive back. So they're thinking that they were just parked down there. They were close to Bass Pro in Springfield. They ate supper close to Bass Pro. They're just thinking maybe like parked there for a while. It just climbed up under there.
Dang.
And it's probably a 8 or 9 week old kitten, probably just weaned. It's not very old.
Wow.
It's about 70% the size of our kittens that we're trying to give away right now. So, and nobody saw it all day. I heard it this morning whenever I was sitting on the porch drinking a cup of coffee.
How many
you did?
Saw it.
do you have?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. So,
How many cats are you trying to get rid of?
we have 4 female kittens that we need to get rid of. We got rid of gave away a male and a female already, and we need to get rid of 4 more. And
Nice.
they're like, they're not cats yet, but they're not little baby kittens that, like, their mom's not letting them nurse anymore. So they're like probably 2/3 the size of her at this point. So you need some cats? You know somebody who needs some barn cats?
I have a few cats that just roam around outside of my house every day.
Yeah.
They're not mine.
She tried to put them on Nextdoor, and apparently people have some serious moral qualms with giving away cats.
Yep.
And Marcella's like emotionally like shook up by people approaching her. And I'm like, dude, just message them and be like, okay, would you like to come take the cats for free and do the right thing by charging a rehoming fee for them?
Yeah.
People are like, you have to charge a rehoming fee. You have to get them wormed before you give them away. You have to get them spayed and neutered before you give them away. And we're like, no, you don't.
Why do people think that that's necessary?
I don't know. Because here's what they think. This is my theory. They think that if you give cats away, the people who will take a free cat are going to beat it. And then put it on a barbecue grill and burn its hair off for fun.
Just because it was free.
Or that's the one option. And there's only 2 options. Or they're going to get it from you for free and they're going to rehome it and charge a rehoming fee.
Good.
And make money off of it. Okay.
And you're like, okay.
I just need a cat going.
A or B.
Here's my position. Like, this is my genuine position on cats. I do not think that you should mistreat them. But if you called me up and you said, hey, I'm not going to mistreat them, but we are going to eat them, I'd be like, when are you coming to get them?
Right.
They're not big enough to eat yet. You're going to have to feed them for a while. I mean, as long as you're not going to mistreat them, if you said, we're going to beat them first while they're alive, and then we're going to eat them, I'd be like, why are you going to beat them before? Like, what's the value in that part? They're cats. Like, I really don't think there's a lot of people. Am I wrong? Am I naive? I don't think there's a bunch of people out there perusing Facebook and Marketplace going, I hope I can find some cats to abuse. I don't think that's happening. Am I wrong?
I haven't read any news articles about it.
We're not giving away children here. We're giving away kittens.
I mean, now if we were in where is that in Michigan? If we were in Michigan, where is it that they're eating the cats? And
Oh, according to Trump,
yeah,
Detroit, maybe.
I think it was. I don't know.
Is it where the water's not good? Is that the same place?
That's Flint.
Flint?
I
Are
don't
they
think it
eating
was
cats?
there. I don't remember.
I mean,
let me Google it.
Do you guys have a moral problem? Like, do you have a moral issue? Do you see a moral issue with eating an animal?
No.
Do you have a moral issue with eating specific animals?
No.
Not moral. I personally wouldn't eat a cat or a dog or.
But why? Why not? Why wouldn't you eat a cat?
It just that seems.
Don't feel like it.
It seems kind of gross, right? Like to us.
Right.
But like, there's people who eat snails. You eat snails?
No.
I don't either. But like, I don't see a moral. Have you had them? Are they good?
I don't think that you can really tell
that you're eating them.
Whether they're good or not.
They taste like whatever you season them with.
I think so.
The texture is not appealing to me. But anyway, so yeah, we got 4 more to get rid of. And
what cultures eat cats?
Hungry cultures.
Just people that can't find anything else.
People that are hungry. Yeah. I'm going to eat a cat. I've eaten at a Chinese restaurant before, and I have thought I've never seen any chicken that was the texture of kitten on a stick. Not ever. And I eat it and I like it. Would I change my tune if I found out that it was kitten and not chicken? Maybe. Did you deworm it before you cooked it up? That'd be my question.
Yeah. Did you pay the rehoming fee?
Did you pay the rehoming fee for these kittens? I mean,
I think I would eat just about anything if I was hungry enough and not feel bad about it.
I do wonder if the answer to my kitten problem isn't doing that prank that I've talked about before, which is get them a collar and put a phone number on the collar. And the phone number is to a Chinese restaurant. Okay? On the collar of the kitten. And then just let them loose in Belton or something, right? And then, dude, I guarantee you, whoever called that number would keep the cat forever. And they would have this awesome story. They would be like, how did you come to get this? How did you come to get Frisky there? Well, I'll tell you what, Frisky just showed up on our porch one day. She had a collar on and it had a phone number, and we called the phone number, and the phone number answered and was like, hey, this is, you know, what's the Chinese restaurant in town? This is Kung Pao Chinese restaurant. And we kept the cat because we knew exactly what would happen to it. Wouldn't that be the coolest story for your family cat ever?
You can get collars printed with phone numbers on Amazon real cheap.
Dude, yeah. I think that's our plan at this point.
Do it.
The problem is that somebody's going to see this podcast.
Yeah.
Dude, that is the rest of the story. There's like, it has every element of a great story for your like for a family story ever. Like, there's never going to be a cat that's more loved than the cat that was saved from being sent back
saved from
to 124 Chinese restaurant. Like, there's never going to be a better story than that. Now, is there going to be some trouble for the Chinese restaurant when they call the police and they tell them this cat had a collar on it that said it was from 154 Chinese buffet? Yeah, there's going to be a little trouble, but there's not going to be anything to actually connect that Chinese restaurant to that collar. Nothing.
Right.
Like, in fact, I'm actually curious to ask ChatGPT if this would be a funny prank.
Could it somehow be traced back to you, though?
If they got my Amazon history, maybe.
Or if they watch
let's-
this podcast.
Yeah, or if they watch this podcast, but nobody's doing that.
No, it'd be
Nobody's
worth the
doing
risk.
that.
No.
It is worth the risk, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and think about, like, okay, on a scale of 0 to 100 of how loved a family pet would be, how loved would that cat be?
No.
Like, there is.
Where'd you get this cat? Is it a rescue?
Oh, dude.
Let
Yes,
me tell
it's a
you.
rescue.
It is the rescue of all rescues.
Oh, the rescue of all rescues. Am I wrong? You have literally, like, you took the greatest story ever told, you packaged it up, and you handed it to whatever family got that cat. Right
You
there.
packaged it up into a phone number.
They should be grateful for you.
They would. I mean, that cat would receive so much love every day. They would grab that cat and they would think, like, what great thing I did for this cat.
And they
Like-
would also never go eat at that Chinese restaurant.
Right. But no big deal. Like, that's no big deal. You haven't eaten at most of the
It's only
Chinese
4
restaurants.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 people, 4 families. Okay.
4 families. Oh.
Are you going to do all the same restaurant, or would you spread it around so that each restaurant was only losing one constituent?
Yeah, I do 4 different restaurants. I do them in like an hour away from where the cat was. Like, I would do them to where they,
Oh,
to where
yeah.
the restaurant they would call would be like so unrelated.
Yeah. And they would never go eat there no matter what. So they're not even losing a customer.
I mean, I feel like if I rescued a cat from being Chinese food, I may never eat at a Chinese restaurant again.
Sure, why not? Yeah, but no big deal.
Like, if I felt that compelled to keep the cat, I'd be like, we're never going to a Chinese
Dude,
restaurant.
you're telling me, like think about it. A cat shows up on your porch with a collar. You call the number on the collar thinking you're doing the right thing. The person on the other end of the line is like a Vietnamese or Chinese restaurant. You're not going to tell everybody though that like nobody has that story. Like, I feel like just thinking of this idea, I have like brought so much joy to somebody's like to some person. Like,
Oh my.
it's like the defining story of their life at that point. And I have like fabricated it out of nothing, right?
Some little 4-year-old girl is going to get this cat, and that'll be the story she tells the rest of her life. The next 80
Absolutely.
years, she'll be telling that story.
Like, instead of being one of these dweebs that's like, you should get your cat neutered, she's going to be like, I saved a cat from being food for some unsuspecting person. Like myself.
Also, I never eat Chinese ever.
Right.
I hate Chinese food. I love it, Dan. I expect you to do it now.
Okay.
Are you asking the chat?
I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Okay. I am going to get a cat collar, and I'm going to put, it's a kitten, and I'm going to put a tag on it with the number to a Chinese restaurant. Do you understand that, like, do you understand the concept of this prank? Because I'm going to let the cat loose in town.
Oh boy.
Okay, here's ChatGPT's response. Yes, I understand the concept. The idea is that someone might find the kitten, call the number on the collar thinking it's the owner, and instead reach a Chinese restaurant. It's meant to be a kind of misdirection joke. The prank crosses a few lines, though. While it might sound funny in theory, oh no. Well, okay. While while it might sound funny in theory as a kind of absurd joke, in practice it involves real risk, both for the kitten and for the people. Animal welfare, letting a kitten loose intentionally is unsafe. It could get hit by a car. Fair. Attacked by another animal, also probably fine. Lost or worse. People's emotions. Someone who finds the kitten might genuinely be worried and try to help. Calling a random restaurant instead of the owner wastes their time and could cause frustration or confusion. The restaurant, they might get several confusing calls which could disrupt their business or cause irritation. So no, it's not that the prank is underrated. It's more that it plays out poorly in real world. Okay, I get what you're saying, but think about it. Like a person calls the number and they think, let's be honest, they think that this cat is destined to become food for some other person. And they just keep the cat. And then they get this awesome story to tell people forever about how they saved this cat. I see your twisted logic. You're going for that dark humor angle where the story becomes a wild urban legend. I found a kitten with a Chinese takeout number on its collar and thought I was rescuing it from being someone's lunch. It's meant to shock and amuse, then stick in people's memories. And yeah, it would make a heck of a story for them. But here's the problem. That's banking on everything going exactly right. And it would go exactly right. Because you'd do the same thing. Everybody would do the same thing. Am I wrong? I would do the same thing. And I would want to believe that I saved the cat. Right? Am I wrong? Guys.
Oh yeah. You want to.
Of course, because you want to be able to tell people that you did.
Yes.
But there's the problem, the banking on everything going exactly right and none of the risk actually happening. Let's break it down. The humor premise, the humor relies on the stereotype and shock factor. That alone is going to make it controversial. Okay, whatever. Punchline. If the person keeps the cat and realizes the number is a Chinese restaurant, they might eventually laugh. Maybe. The risk to the cat. I don't care. I'm not even going to read those. Let's move on. To you, what about to you? You might think you're just being clever. But if anyone finds out, like because you're on a podcast talking about it right now, about it, and it could blow up back, they could blow back hard, especially in social media age. I would hope so. If they found out it was me, I could become dark famous immediately, right?
Yeah.
They could call animal cruelty fast and loud. If this prank goes well, maybe you get remembered as clever. I don't want to be remembered. I just want to get rid of these cats. The jerk endangered a kitten for a laugh. Those people think I'm endangering a kitten by giving it away.
Right.
So who cares about them? Okay, better alternative, same vibe, no risk. Don't care, not gonna read it.
Wait, same vibe, no risk?
Okay, here we go. Better alternative, put a collar on a stuffed animal kitten. No.
That's not the same
dumb.
vibe.
I have a real cat that I need to give away. Here's what it says. Ah, that changes the context entirely. If you actually need to give away a real kitten, that stops being a prank and becomes responsibility. Stop talking about responsibility. This is going to be a great prank. You and I are going to be remembered for this forever. Here's the deal. If you're dead set on doing something bold and unforgettable, let's come up with something edgy. Hey, this was half your idea anyway. This was half your idea anyway because you're the one who helped me come up with it.
I understand that sometimes ideas evolve in conversation, and I'm here to support you in a positive direction. If this prank started as a joke, we can pivot to something equally memorable, but safe and respectful. I'm here to help you create something that you'll be proud of and that won't cause any harm.
I'm going to blame you for this forever.
I'm here to help you in a positive and supportive way, and I want you to have a great experience and positive memories. If you ever want to brainstorm fun and harmless ideas or need help with anything else, I'm always here for you.
Haven't you thought about the fact that this kitten will get a great home and the people who home it will get a great story out of this?
I get that you're imagining a scenario where everything turns out perfectly and everyone ends up happy. But real life can be unpredictable, especially for a small animal. The safest and kindest approach is to find a responsible home for the kitten directly. That way you ensure the kitten's safety and well-being, and you can still share the story of how you found it a loving home. If you need any help or advice on rehoming, I'm here for you.
But what if I gave it to someone who was going to eat it for sure once it grew up? I mean, what's wrong with that? We eat all kinds of animals.
I understand that people have different perspectives on animals and food, but when it comes to pets, the relationship is generally built on companionship and care. It's important to ensure the kitten goes to a safe and loving home where it will be treated well. If you need help finding a good...
Here's the problem. My brother-in-law, who's on this podcast with me, he had a pet pig, and I'm pretty sure that he just had it butchered, and they're going to eat it. So I really don't appreciate you saying that there's something wrong with his decision to do that.
I understand your point, and I apologize if it seemed like I was judging. People do
Yeah,
have
you
different
do seem judgmental whenever you're saying that his pet can't become food. That does seem extremely judgmental.
I'm sorry if it came across that way. I understand that everyone has their own perspectives and choices. My main concern is ensuring that any action taken is safe and respectful for
I just want you to not assume that just because something was a pet, it can't be food.
I understand your perspective, and I appreciate you sharing it. It's important to respect different viewpoints and cultural practices. My main goal is to ensure that any action...
let's just leave it at that. Let's just say we respect other people's culture and practices and not go into a bunch of yip yap about other things.
Absolutely, I respect that. It's always important
just
to have
stop
open
talking at that point.
Sure, I understand. If you have any other topics or questions you'd like to discuss, feel free to let me know anytime.
Okay, but just keep in mind that I want you to be respectful, but not talk about it in the future.
Absolutely. I understand and respect your preference. If there's anything
just
else you'd like to discuss...
at that point.
Got it. I understand. I'm here whenever you need me. Just let me know how I can help.
Oh my.
Sorry guys. I have to keep training my AI
Apparently.
in the proper way of things. All right.
Beating him down.
So ChatGPT doesn't apparently think it's a great idea. But he's never been actually alive. So you got to keep that in mind.
Right, but he's giving you real world advice.
From an unreal world thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you did have a pet pig that you are butchering, right?
It's done butchered.
Butchered.
I'm going to pick it up on Saturday.
Is some of it curing, or is it all just butchered?
Oh, yeah. Getting bacon, ham, sausage, brats.
Will they have it ready already by then?
Yeah.
Well, your pet pig, Zuckerman's famous pig, becoming bacon. Seems like an appropriate end.
I need to get another pig.
Yeah.
You do.
Here's what we figured out is when you have a pig,
Mm-hmm.
it makes like pigs eat more scraps than chickens eat.
Yeah.
Like if you want to throw out the end of an old stale box of cereal, perfect for chickens. Or like some heels of the bread that your kids don't eat for whatever reason, and they stayed in there until they got a little mold on them. Chickens, perfect. Anything that has been into your house and potentially was eatable can go to the pig. Like, I mean, we clean out the refrigerator, and it's so much hog food,
Yeah.
stuff that the chickens won't eat.
I
Chickens
feel
don't really
like,
eat like carrots or
yeah,
potatoes or so much stuff.
I feel like at your location, you could probably like go get unlimited supply of food for a pig. Restaurant scraps, like if you didn't ever want to feed a pig anything, there's plenty of people food to feed it, isn't there?
Dude, I wish I knew of a way to get that stuff like
Yeah.
easily. Like if I could talk to the grocery store or something. The
Yeah.
the only thing is that I think as soon as it becomes any type of a hassle for somebody, they don't want to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
like if they have to sort food and put food scraps in one bin and like napkins and plastic and crap in another, it's not worth it.
It's immediately
Especially
not
if
worth it.
I'm asking for it for free.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a grocery store would give me stuff. I don't know though.
Yeah.
I would need to know, which I mean, I guess Joel would be a good person to talk to about who you would need to know in the grocery store
Right.
to get like rotten produce and stuff.
I feel like as
But
long
yeah,
as
dude,
you
if I
at a
could get
grocery store, as long as you were willing to do the hassle, you could have a lot of it. If you were willing to
yeah,
unpackage the meat product or vegetable product out of its cellophane,
hmm
you'd probably get all kinds of stuff. I mean, or get a whole neighborhood of people who are willing to give you their like stuff, and you pitch
table
like it.
straps.
Have you seen the guys that like get all the table scraps for compost?
Mm-mm.
I don't know if they've there's dudes that like have like market gardens in town, and they like do like there's a guy that I saw, whether it's true on the internet, you never know for sure, but like he lives in this city. I don't think it's Kansas City. I forget what city it is. He goes around with a bike and a trailer and picks up table scraps for composting, charges people for it
Charges
because
people to pick up their scrap food.
right, because he composts it. He does like basically because he uses no fossil fuel and does the right thing with it,
hmm
and like has compost bins that he dumps all of their food scraps into. People actually pay him for the privilege of him taking their food scraps,
Weird.
and they
Garbage.
sort it for him because they're true believers in
hmm
that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm not, but I'm also a realist about stuff like that. Like I think it's a great idea to compost, and yet we basically throw all of our stuff to the chickens. I mean,
hmm
it kind of gets composted.
Right.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I need to figure out a plan moving forward
I'm still
with
listening. I'll be back.
you guys or somebody, and just basically always have a pig. So I'm butchering a pig every year instead of like, if this pig yields 250 pounds of pork, that's a decent amount of pork to go through
Yeah.
in a year. So I wouldn't necessarily need, if I'm eating the full pig every time, I don't necessarily need a pig every year. But if I were splitting the hog, then I would be able to have a pig full time, which would make our little barnyard run more smoothly.
Because otherwise you don't have a place to get rid of that.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in owning partial pig.
How do you feel like the butchering cost is working out on it, or do you know yet?
Well, I don't know for sure yet because I don't know. I don't know what the hanging weight was. So I'll know better on Saturday. I
Okay.
think where I'm gonna end up, and this is unfortunately this is partly a guess, because I started out keeping track of the feed cost, and then eventually kind of let that go by the wayside. So I don't know what my feed cost was. I just kind of guessed. I think I'm gonna be between, like, all in. I think I'm gonna be like between $4 and $5 a pound, somewhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is good, because if you're buying ham or bacon or sausage, you're going to be more expensive than that. And maybe if you're buying just ground pork, you might be a little bit cheaper than that sometimes. Or some other cuts at Sam's are probably going to be a little cheaper than that sometimes. But I think across the board, it ends up being pretty decent for, good clean pork.
Is there such a thing as clean pork?
Hopefully they gave them a little bath before they went at it.
The
What did you
Jews won't eat
feed
it because
them
it's just all dirty.
when you feeded them? What did you feed them?
Just a like medium protein hog feed from the feed store. My dad said couldn't believe the low amount of protein I was feeding this hog, because the guy that he knows that feeds out hogs for butcher feeds like 30-some% protein diet, and the only thing you can actually buy at feed stores is like 18%.
So where's he getting that?
Well, somewhere
Somewhere.
out of the feed bin that's back by the hog pen.
Well, so
Also,
if you're buying enough feed, you can have all of your feed custom mixed. But
well,
you can
sure.
only have
I could go to
feed
Valley
custom
Feed.
mixed by like 1,500-pound deals.
Yeah, I'm not
And
doing that.
there's no way that a hog producer, unless they are selling, like, okay, let's say you were selling farm fresh, custom butchered pork, and you were charging premium prices, is going to double the protein on pigs.
No.
Like, there's just no way.
It's,
There's no way that
you
that
can.
MFA is so far off of what's ideal for pigs that they're half.
Yeah.
Is there? There's no way.
No. I think I did okay. I mean, that pig was freaking 450 pounds. It's a big pig.
And the tallow and everything.
What's
So
that?
what are you doing on that stuff? Are you getting any like just fat to render or anything like that?
No, I mean, it's an option. You can get them. You can get the lard if you want it, but I don't want it.
You didn't want it?
Did you want it? Oh man, I got the yawns.
Well, it's almost tomorrow.
I've heard of people mixing up and making like deer sausage.
With pork fat?
I've heard of people using deer sausage and using pig pork fat for deer sausage, I think.
Well, next time we could get some if you want it.
I don't know if I want to ask ChatGPT about that in this particular thread.
So basically, like Jimmy, if you're like for sure interested, I'm just gonna start looking for another pig.
Cool.
I guess Dan gone.
Yeah, I think we lost him.
So, yeah, I'll probably just get another pig.
Heck yeah.
Soonish. And then, I mean, if you want some of this pig, I mean, I'll give you some for helping me out and stuff. But if you want to like buy a bunch of it, probably do that too if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably be interested in some of it for sure.
Man, I am really looking forward to having a bunch of pork chops in my freezer.
Smoke them ribs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should do that on your Yoder. Have you ever smoked ribs?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, getting some.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Sweet.
I should probably go to bed.
Yeah, I'm seeming like Dan might have just taken that as his cue to be done.
He ain't jumping back in.
I don't see anything. All right, well, oh, here he is.
There he is.
Ugh. What the?
Maybe. And he's
Hello, Dan.
technical difficulties over there. I don't think he's with us.
No. Oh, well.
Oh, there he is. Nope, he gone.
We just... All right. Well,
oh, there he is.
we can call it. So that was the this week's installment of the Not Your Average Guys show. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Trevor. And I don't think anybody else watched. So that's that.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.